I mean, two got a chain going hold his hand out. So if he shot it, I don't think he's gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. He knows he ain't gonna do it.
Why is it so personal with you two?
I mean, it's not personal. It's just, man, we're gonna fight. And like, I understand him trying to be a quote unquote gentleman, but that's not the facts, because like he done said stuff about him, you know, taking my eye and, you know, breaking it and all this type of stuff, saying this, and then you want to shake my hand. He was like, you trying to take my eyesight, but now you want to shake my hands and be friends or whatever. Like, I don't want to shake your hand. Like, you saying all this type of stuff about me, you gonna do this, you gonna do that, you gonna do, okay, you gonna beat me like Fundora did Keith Thurman, and you gonna retire.
Honestly, there's nothing personal for me. This is such a big moment in my life that I'm just, I don't know, just taking it with both hands, and I just really want to do some damage. I really want to get myself to that next level, and this is what
I don't know if it makes up for everything, but what it does do is it catapults him to the high status of this weight class, because his name is one of the bigger names in the weight class. So whenever you have a big name in a weight class like this, where there's a lot of top fighters, but fighters are still struggling to get their name and make it big, you automatically put yourself in a position to get any of those big fights, because now those guys look at you as a scalp, and now you position yourself to get a shot at those guys. Now, they may look at you as a scalp, but you're looking at yourself like, okay, my name is...
It's like a dodgeball team, hey? But how does he look to you? What do you make of him?
You know, the thing I know about Errol, this is what he doesn't care for. He doesn't care for media. He doesn't care for time to talk and smile. He's ready for this night to be over. I saw him earlier. He looked comfortable. He looked relaxed, like he's been here before, not like it's been 3 years, you know? I've seen guys before that have tried to make comebacks, and they're overexcited about it. They're super happy and, you know, beyond. You know, he's right where he's always been, and I think that those are good signs for him ahead of this fight.
Is that a bad sign for Tim, potentially?
I mean, Tim's got to show up, and I like what Tim told me. Tim says, I want to walk across the ring, and I want to punch him in the mouth.
Errol Spence Jr. and Tim have finally come face to face, sending a wave of excitement throughout the boxing world. Fans, analysts, and former champions are all reacting to the intense showdown, with anticipation reaching its highest point as both fighters prepare for one of the biggest and most talked about clashes of the year.
If it were anyone else, we might be looking at, you know, a little softer version of Tim, but I think we're going to get a strong Tim.
I suppose, how many more times can he chop and change? This has got to be it, though. He's overhauled his team twice in the past 12 months. So, if you know, is this the final roll of the dice for Tim Tszyu?
I mean, this is if he wins here, I mean, the game keeps going. You know, he's not leaving. He's going to keep going down the road. But if he gets beat here, it's hard. It's going to be difficult to convince anyone outside of Australia that he can regain world-class level. You know, maybe within Australia, friends, the locals, the fan base, okay, they want to keep following him. But I think if you get beat here, unless you get beat in an all-out, super entertaining war where people want to see you again, it's probably over at a world-class.
The rivalry between Errol Spence Jr. and Tim has been building for quite some time. But following their latest face-off, the tension has clearly reached a new level. Spence made it known that there will be no respect shown after the final bell, even stating that he has no intention of shaking Tim's hand once the fight is over.
Like, I'm not trying to shake your hand, bro. Like you said what you said, now stand on it.
I told people the question that was presented to me is this mind games coming from Errol. I said, Errol's not really the mind game kind of guy.
Yeah.
Is it mind games, or is it like...
There's no mind game. I don't play mind games. You know, bro, I don't play no mind games. Like, it's how I feel. Like, I don't want to shake your hand, bro.
Just keep the same energy as before,
Like, I don't want to shake your hand, bro. It's just what it is. There's no mind game. I don't play mind games. It's just, I'm not gonna shake your hand, bro.
Even after the fight, I saw that too. You were like, I ain't shaking it after the fight either.
Yeah, like, you said what you said, bro. I don't really care for him like that. So
Tim, however, remains completely unfazed by the pressure surrounding this fight. While admitting that this matchup carries a different level of importance and attention, he insists that dealing with high-pressure moments is nothing new. According to Tim, he has experienced similar situations throughout his career and believes those experiences have prepared him perfectly for this challenge.
I've had a couple of these moments. The first time I had it was with when I fought Jeff Horn. The second time I had it was with Tony Harrison, and I haven't had it since. And I've been searching for it. What is it going to make me feel like this is it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I hadn't had it. Like, even in the front door, I was waking up and I was like, this doesn't feel like fight week, you know? But this feels something different, you know? When you put all on the line, you roll the dice, this feeling of just, I don't know. I can't really describe it, but...
How are you handling it?
Great.
You're handling it great.
Yeah, great. Because when I feel it...
Many boxing fans have compared the Tim versus Spence matchup to the unforgettable clash between Danny Green and Roy Jones Jr., where Green shocked the boxing world with a stunning upset victory. Speaking during the face-off, Danny Green explained that Tim must test Spence from the opening rounds and quickly find out how much the former champion still has left in the tank after such a long period away from the ring.
He's gonna, well, to be honest, it's really difficult because 3 years out, he's had one fight in 4 years. You know, beat Ugas, which is a great victory. And so that inactivity is difficult, and it can work in some guys' favour and it can work against some guys. So it's yet, when the bell goes, that's when we're going to find out. After a couple of rounds, we'll know what kind of Errol Spence is here, and I expect Tim to question what kind of Errol Spence is here.
Green also revealed exactly what his strategy would be if he were standing in Tim's corner on fight night. He questioned whether Spence's lengthy layoff has taken away the sharpness that once made him one of boxing's most feared champions. Green believes Tim has the perfect opportunity to make Spence regret returning to the ring by forcing him into a fast-paced and physically demanding fight. He emphasized the huge difference between an active fighter who competes regularly and someone returning after a long absence, explaining that timing, reflexes, conditioning, and even the ability to absorb punches can all become major concerns after spending so much time away from competition.
If you were in Tim Tszyu's corner, what does Tim Tszyu need to do to win this fight?
I think be calculated, but look, I'm going to say something that's kind of it's contradictory. Be calculated, but he's got to test him early. He's going to, hey Errol, how does this feel after so long? You like this? You know, give him a couple of you know, leather sandwiches and see how he likes that. You know, when you get a punch in the face after a while out, when you used to getting punched in the face, it doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt. It frustrates you. The pain doesn't, you don't feel the pain till later. Broken bone.
Now the moment has finally arrived, and the predictions are beginning to pour in from across the boxing world. Former world champion Shawn Porter shared his full breakdown of the explosive showdown between Errol Spence Jr. and Tim, explaining why he expects an intense dogfight from start to finish. Porter believes both men possess the power, durability, and determination needed to make this an unforgettable battle. However, he feels Spence's championship experience, relentless pressure, and ability to wear opponents down could ultimately become the difference, leading to a dramatic and surprising 7th-round stoppage victory.
This is going to become either you get me or I get you. This fight's not going the distance. That's the most I could predict about this fight.
It's not going the distance.
It's not going the distance.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I agree with you.
If somehow it went the distance, it would be like a Castillo and Corrales, like where these guys are bashing each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's it's like kind of scary near the end, you know?
Give me a round. Where's the stop? 5 or 6?
7.
Oh, 7. That's just a wild guess.
How do you come up with, like, you know,
Oh, no.
I hate when people are like, you know, yeah, that's Errol in 7. Like, what needed to happen in the first 6 rounds for you to know that
Exactly.
the 7th?
Shawn Porter gives an in-depth breakdown of both Tim and Errol Spence Jr., offering his expert opinion on why this matchup is so intriguing and potentially explosive. He analyzes each fighter's strengths, pressure, punching power, and overall ring habits, explaining how those qualities could influence every round of the contest. From Spence's disciplined and technical style to Tim's relentless aggression and willingness to push the pace, Porter points out the critical factors that may decide who controls the action and who holds the upper hand once the fight reaches its closing stages.
He's someone that like really pushes in. Don't be surprised if he's not pushing in like that. And I'm sure a lot of people are gonna think it's because he might be afraid to get hit and things like that. Those are like the wrinkles of being a mature, seasoned fighter.
Do you think that kind of strategy will actually add to his game? Because the Fundora fight with Tszyu, very similar. Fundora just kept him away with the jab, kept him jabbing away. Spence will have a kind of similar game plan going to this fight, no?
Could be. You know, that broomstick isn't nearly as long as Fundora.
Of course.
Tim likes to keep you busy, so it could be a little challenging to try to stay behind your jab with a fighter that wants to be on top of you, you know? So, and that's why I think that step around is going to be...
Focusing on durability and recent ring activity, Sean Porter explains that this fight is about far more than simply who lands the first big punch or who gets hurt early. In his opinion, the true difference will come from the power carried behind every shot and the way each fighter responds under intense pressure. He believes the ability to absorb punishment, recover quickly, stay composed, and continue fighting at a high level during the toughest exchanges could ultimately determine who walks away victorious after an exhausting battle.
Is punch resistance a thing?
100%.
3 years, long time.
100%. For both guys, though. For both guys. You know, you got one guy who hasn't been pounded on in 3 years, and then you got another guy who has been, you know, so...
So there's scar tissue, a lot of scar tissue?
Both guys. Both guys, you know, and again, we're talking about scar tissue, but what about for the sake of words, trauma, you know what I mean? The you know, when that punch comes that I didn't see, you know, what does it remind me of? What goes through my mind? You know what I mean? This is what I know, right? And I'm like kind of just breaking this breaking this down right now. When a fighter reacts incorrectly to a punch that they would not have in the past, I've told people.
Joining the conversation, Roy Jones Jr. draws an interesting comparison between Errol Spence Jr. and the legendary Marvin Hagler, saying Spence possesses a similar level of pressure, determination, and physical toughness. Jones believes Spence enters every fight with the mentality of a relentless bulldog, constantly moving forward, applying pressure, and forcing his opponents into uncomfortable situations. According to him, that non-stop aggression could become the greatest obstacle Tim has to overcome on fight night.
Errol's a pressure fighter. Errol's the type of guy, he don't have to do things 100% right, because part of his game is just to bulldog you when you down. When you bulldog and wear him down, you're not fighting at the top, not fighting like a Terrence Crawford. He's gonna bulldog and wear most of them down. Look what he did so far. All he lost to was Bud.
Right.
Because Bud ain't gonna bulldog Bud, I'm sorry. But everybody else, if he can bulldog and wear you down, he gonna do it. So it's like, you see little things here, little things there, but at the same time, because you know what kind of fighter he is, his pinnacle ain't the same as other people's. Because his game is pressure. Pressure busts pipes. So he ain't got to do everything right. He like Marvin Hagler was. Marvin kept that pressure on him. Pressure busts pipes. Marvin.
Giving his official prediction, Roy Jones Jr. believes the opening rounds will present the biggest challenge for Errol Spence Jr. as Tim looks to impose his aggressive style from the very beginning. However, Jones feels that if Spence successfully survives the first 5 or 6 rounds without taking too much damage, the momentum will gradually shift in his favor. He expects Spence to begin breaking Tim down with the same sharp combinations, body work, and powerful punches that helped him secure an impressive stoppage victory over Eudenis Ugas in one of his biggest performances.
It's going to be a slugfest.
It's going to be a slugfest. Who are you picking in the fight?
Man, it's a hard call, but I'm going with Errol. I'm hoping Errol can withstand the onslaught that Tszyu going to probably put up early, because if you get past 4 or 5 rounds, Errol definitely going to beat him, because Errol, to me, is stronger later than anybody fighting. You get him past round 6, and you got a problem in your hand. I don't care who it is. Especially if he ain't beat up or nothing in the face. You get to round 6, you got a problem, because that's when he starts to come alive.
Yeah.
Ask Ugas.
Ask Brooke, right? Yeah. Ask Ugas.
Roy Jones Jr. also sends a warning to Tim, insisting that Errol Spence Jr. is entering this fight expecting a fierce slugfest and intends to apply relentless pressure from the opening bell until the finish. Despite those predictions, Tim remains completely confident in his own abilities and believes he is ready to silence every critic on fight night. He views Spence's recent comments and attitude as disrespectful, promising to make him pay inside the ring, prove his point beyond any doubt, and finally settle their heated rivalry once and for all.
It's all right, you know, we settle our differences on Sunday.
Is that the type of person you'd prefer to fight? Someone that's given you a bit of that attitude?
Yeah, it's a certain feeling I'm having that doesn't happen often. Third time in my career this feeling I've got, and it's one hell of a feeling.
Sorry, the Tszyu eyes are back out, and I'm all about it.
I'm ready to hurt, bro. Honestly, like all this is cool and cameras and talking a bit of smack, and everyone wants a bit of headlines. But I'm just so locked in that all I want to do is just fight, you know?
What about 160? Tell us you're an official middleweight for this fight.
Yeah, refreshing. Finally, long time in the making.
Errol Spence Jr. insists that none of the outside pressure, criticism, or pre-fight comments have had any effect on his mindset leading into this massive showdown. He believes he has already won the mental battle because nothing outside the ropes can distract him from his ultimate objective. According to Spence, the mission is clear from the moment the bell rings. Embrace the war, perform at the highest possible level, and leave everything inside the ring, rather than feeling intimidated or distracted. He says he has never been more focused, better prepared, or more determined to deliver a statement performance.
You're rattled, like you're a bit, phased by the trash talk and all that. Any response?
I mean, I guess if that's gonna help him. I mean, I don't think it's gonna help him. I mean, rattle mean I'm just more focused. So if the trash talk did get to me, it just made me more focused.
A lot of talk about your defeat to Terence Crawford. How do you think Tim Tszyu would have went against Terence Crawford?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know at all.
Do you think you're in his head a little bit? He's talking about this handshake and all this other stuff. Like, do you think you've got inside his head?
I don't know, and I really don't care. If I did get in his head, if I didn't get in his head, I'm still gonna fight the same way.
Both Errol Spence Jr. and Tim continue expressing complete confidence in their abilities as fight night draws closer. However, an interesting shift has taken place in Shawn Porter's opinion. Since the matchup was first announced, Porter consistently backed Spence to come out on top. But after hearing Tim confidently promise that he intends to move forward, apply constant pressure, and take the fight directly to Spence, Porter has started reconsidering his prediction. He now believes Tim possesses the style, mindset, and physical tools needed to create serious problems and make this contest far more competitive than he originally expected.
Just the subtleties of their style, Errol wins. And I've been Errol wins before, like when I heard about this fight.
When they were discussing it, when it was coming together.
And it's like, even last week, I'm like, yeah, Errol, no problem. You know what I mean? Man, I'm on the plane, and you got 16 hours to just sit around and think, and it's like, Tim says he wants to go across the ring and punch Errol Spence in the mouth. And I'm like, the craziest thing is that could work. And because of everything that Errol's been through, because of the 3-year layoff, and you don't know how built up the body is at this point in time, you're wondering, like, is punching Errol in the mouth something that could really get him over the top in this fight? I'm starting to lean that way.
Okay, well, I mean, the Aussie fans here in Sydney would love to see it. Last one for you. Could we ever see a
No.
Could we ever see a Shawn Porter fighting in Australia?
If it's one of you two.
Okay.
Sharing his advice on what Tim must do to defeat Errol Spence Jr., Shawn Porter reflects on his own experience inside the ring against the former champion. He explains that, much like Terence Crawford, Tim can produce an outstanding performance if he studies the successful moments from Spence's previous opponents and applies those lessons effectively. Porter identifies several key areas that Tim should focus on throughout the fight, emphasizing that discipline, patience, smart decision-making, and sticking to a well-prepared game plan will be the biggest factors in creating a realistic path to victory.
Say had a really great showing against Errol Spence Jr. Obviously, Terence Crawford had a great showing against Errol Spence Jr. What did we do? We moved our feet. So that's something that Tim has to be able to do on fight night. And it's not about moving around the ring and all that. The one thing for me that Tim has to do, he has to get off of the line after he punches. What does that mean? Punch, punch. Either move your head, and I like move your head and then step around. You know, I like punch, punch, and then step around. But you can't stay in front of Errol. You give him a stationary target, eventually he's going to beat you down.
Well, that's been the criticism of Tim's last fight. He hasn't stepped off the line. He's gone through a few different trainers now. Pedro Diaz, he's now moved over to Jeff Fenech.
At the same time, Sean Porter admits he cannot overlook the possibility that Errol Spence Jr.'s lengthy absence from the ring could influence his performance. While Porter continues to respect Spence's talent, experience, and championship pedigree, he also points out mistakes that appeared during some of Spence's previous fights. He believes those weaknesses could become significant if Tim recognizes them early and takes full advantage. According to Porter, even the smallest technical mistakes could ultimately play a major role in determining the outcome of such a closely contested fight.
Describe Errol, he's not a rhythm fighter. What I mean by that, he's not a fighter that goes out in the ring and has specific talents and abilities that he has to catch a rhythm in order to get going, right? So think about basketball. You come down, you shoot a couple of threes, and eventually they start going in. Errol doesn't need to shoot to get going. You know, he comes out, it's the jab pumping, and that's just him, you know? So I really don't think 3 years off takes that away from you. You know, the things that would affect Errol, you know, being punched to the body with the 8-ounce glove, they may be in 10s now because this is a catch weight at 160, I believe it is.
Because he's coming a bit heavier?
Yeah, the fact that he's coming in a little bit heavier, you know, that body has morphed over the years, you know, he's...
Confidence remains extremely high inside Tim's camp, and following the latest face-off, his team believes every week of preparation is beginning to show. They point to the intensity, dedication, and discipline displayed throughout training camp as evidence that Tim is fully prepared for the toughest challenge of his professional career. After completing 9 demanding weeks of focused work, conditioning, and technical improvement, Tim says he feels stronger than ever before and believes he is entering the ring in the best shape of his life, determined to deliver a winning performance.
When we were victorious on the 26th of July.
That's awesome. For those that don't know, they just had the face-off. Errol Spence, Tim Tszyu just sat down and had their first, I guess the first time they've seen each other in Sydney too. But when Errol walked in the room, the look on Tim's face, there was, what you just said then is noticeably different. Is essentially like what I'm sort of getting to here. Like you could see a very ready, focused, and eyes on the prize Tim Tszyu. He was given nothing.
Well, that's the Tim Tszyu I train. That's the Tim Tszyu that I want to step into the ring. I don't want this guy to step in the ring thinking that he's going to win the fight before it's already, before the bell's rung. And, that's the Tim Tszyu that I saw, and that's the Tim Tszyu that I've been preparing for the last...
Expectations surrounding Tim continue to rise, especially with Hall of Fame legend Jeff Fenech playing an important role in his corner. Fenech's remarkable career and championship legacy have earned him enormous respect throughout the boxing world, making his involvement one of the biggest storylines leading into this fight. Responding to critics who questioned their partnership, Fenech insists that the training camp has prepared Tim both mentally and physically for every possible situation. He believes Tim is completely ready to perform at the highest level and produce a statement victory when the action begins.
My legacy's done, brother. All I'm doing, understand that. What I'm doing is I'm helping a young kid who needs help.
Yeah.
Win, lose or draw, I know I've helped this man, or this young man. I know I've helped him tremendously. I mean, you get all these people asking questions, asking me questions. And listen, there's only one person you've got to ask. Go in the other room and say to Tim, how do you feel? Are you happy? Have your preparation been right? Don't, that's Jeff Fenech going to help you. I've more than helped him. Like I said, I've made him a happy human being. And he hasn't been that for a long time. And I'm so proud of doing that. Forget about the win or the loss. I've put him in the position to mentally be ready to...
Meanwhile, Errol Spence Jr. has also made significant changes by bringing respected trainer Ronnie Shields into his camp, creating expectations that fans could see a completely different version of the former unified champion. Former world champion Zab Judah believes this new partnership has the potential to unlock improvements that were not visible during Spence's fight against Terrence Crawford. Known for making confident predictions, Judah expects the adjustments made throughout training camp to have a major impact and believes Spence will eventually earn a dramatic late-round stoppage victory.
I know for a fact we're going to see a different Errol Spence than we've seen in the Terrence Bud Crawford fight. And I'm predicting that Errol Spence stops Tim Tszyu. 100%.
My boy says stops. Yo, you've been doing good with the stoppages lately, Soup.
I've been doing good, man. I've been on a roll, right? I've been on a roll.
You calling them stoppages?
A late stoppage. The reason why I pick a late stoppage because Tim Tszyu is gonna be very sharp early. He's gonna be looking to fight. He's young. He got a lot of heart. He's ferocious. He has tenacity, and he's gonna come in there and try to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think that maybe for a while because of Errol Spence's layoff and
according to Zab Judah, his prediction of a late stoppage is closely connected to Spence's long period of inactivity, something he believes cannot be ignored. Judah respects Tim as a durable, determined, and dangerous opponent, particularly during the opening rounds when his energy and pressure are likely to be at their highest. He expects Spence to remain patient, carefully study Tim's rhythm and habits, and gradually increase the pressure once he feels comfortable. Judah also stands by a specific round prediction, hoping his previous successful prediction involving Jaren boots Ennis proves just as accurate once again.
he's gonna take him a couple rounds to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But once he figure it out, I think later on in the fight, the big fish will turn back into the big fish, and he'll walk Tim Tszyu down, and he'll get a late stoppage. I'm predicting around the 9th round, though. Maybe the 9th round. The 9th round sounds pretty kosher to me. I need you guys to keep these tapes. Remember what I said, so that when it happened, remember I predicted almost what's his last boy? From Philly, Boots.
Ennis.
I said 4th round, and the 4th round came. This shit was, it was almost over, brother. Everybody was like, oh shit.
Both Errol Spence Jr. and Tim have promised the fans an unforgettable war inside the ring, but only one fighter will leave with the victory when everything is over. With new trainers on both sides, different strategies being developed, and enormous expectations surrounding this highly anticipated showdown, the outcome could completely reshape the future of both careers. Every prediction, every opinion, and every debate will finally be answered once the opening bell rings. The biggest question now remains simple: who will silence the doubters, rise to the occasion, and deliver a career-defining performance on fight night?